Hi guys, so this is my analysis on Solana. What am I expecting on Solana? If you watch my previous analysis on Solana, I said I'm expecting a bit of a buy move on Solana, and let me just do a very quick recap. I know overall I'm seeing more of like a sell or buy overall move on Solana because I see like an impulse, a correction to around this level to give us more of a buy pattern shape, a descending channel around this area, and a continuation to give us my overall target, which is around my 32, around that area. So but currently right now the correction phase, which is around my impulse correction around this area, will give us more of a sell move. So I've been seeing more of a sell move on Solana currently. So let me go to my price action and see what am I seeing currently on Solana. We can see there was a break of structure on Solana, and I predicted that we might since we broke structure, and if you see a retest around that structure, we might continue to the downside. And you can see, I think it was around this area, right around this area, I predicted it to come to my 50% fib level, and the reason was because there was an imbalance right at that level, and that also have a third touch of a trend line around that area. And we can see we got to that level before we start rejecting. We see a break of structure around this candlestick, right, a break of trend line around that area. We see that, and we see a retest. So what were you expecting after a retest? I'm expecting more of a continuation move to the downside, and we can see we've been pushing to the downside, but this is my overall target as of right now, before I now know what next, because what next. But I'm predicting we might get to around my 18% 80 level before we now push to the downside. So we can see it has been slowly moving, so I'm still predicting it to come to around this level before we now see what next. So as long as we are breaking structure, there's a possibility. If you let me go to a lower time frame just to see, let me go to 1 hour. So we can see, even if it was just a week, we can see there was a break of structure around this level. So there's a possibility you might just continue break structure until we get to my negative 27% fib level around that area. So that is just all I'm looking at until we'll now continue to see what next. And this is my next target around this area, around that trend line, and you can see that trend line also aligns perfectly well with my negative 61.8. so that's my next target if we get to my negative 27%. But let's just wait and see how that goes, but I'm still predicting it to around that level. So that is my analysis on Hi guys, so this is my analysis on Dogecoin. If you watched my previous analysis on Dogecoin, I think Dogecoin was around this level right here, and I predicted that we might push up to my negative 27% fib level before we now continue to push to the downside. And because of my negative 27% fib level also aligns with a trend line, so I was predicting we might come down here before we now continue to push down to my overall target, which is my negative 61.8% level, because you can see there was an imbalance here, a correction and a continuation to my downside, which is my first target and my second target. And as you can see, but that's why we used to say the market doesn't do exactly what we want to, because I was expecting that we might come here to give us a third touch before we now continue to push to the downside for my first target. But we can see it didn't get to the upside, so this analysis was invalid. I'm going to delete it. We didn't get to the upside before we now continue to move to my target, but we can see my target has been hit, my first target. So I'm going to delete my first target, and we can see currently we are now moving to my second target, which is my negative 61.8% fib level. So I'm expecting it to at least get to that level before we now decide on what next on Dogecoin. So let's wait and see. And as long as it's still breaking structure, I still see a possible move to the downside. I can even draw a trend line around this level right here, just to give us a clearer picture of what we are looking at. So I can draw this trend line right here. So let me zoom in just to give us a clearer picture. We can see it's breaking structure. I can do a short fib around this level right here just to see what I'm looking at next. Let's do just to see what I think might happen next based on what I'm seeing right here. You can see I can draw here. There is a breakout structure around this level right here. So I see a breakout structure here. That was a breakout structure. So let's see how that plays out. I'm not seeing any imbalance around this level, so there's a possibility I might just trust this trend line, and that trend line also aligns with my 61.8% fib level. So those are like confluences that I can see, and we can now push to the downside. So let's just see what will happen. But I see, like I said, this is, I can just adjust this. This is my overall target right here, which is so close to my negative 61.8% for the minor structure. So I can just say for the minor, this is the target here. So these are my overall targets right now. So I can just say we might come off here, and my first target and my second target around this area right here. So those are just my possibility that I'm seeing, and as long as we continue to come here, reject all this trend line, we see trend line, we see wicks around this area, break structure and continue. And if we break this trend line right here with a huge momentum, we can see that we might push up to my next let me zoom in a little bit. We might push up to my next trend line. So yeah, that's a possibility. If we break structure and we see, we might okay, so let me zoom in. So if we break structure, like I said, with a big momentum right there, we retest, we might get to my next target around the next trend line. But as of current price action, this is what I'm seeing until otherwise is done. So guys, hope this is insightful, guys. Please don't forget to share, comment and like, and I'll see you in my next analysis. Thank you.